Nobody in Malaysia wants to talk about net worth. We'll talk about salary all day. We'll compare cars, houses, holidays. But ask someone how much they are actually worth. Everything they own minus everything they owe. And the room goes quiet. Today, I'm going to lay it out. How much should you be worth at every age in Malaysia? Not the fantasy number, not the Instagram number, the real one. And I'm not going to make it sound nicer than it is. First, let's be clear on what net worth means. Take everything you own, savings, EPF, investments, house, car. Then subtract everything you owe, mortgage, car loan, credit card, PTPTN. What's left is your net worth. It could be positive. For a lot of Malaysians, it's actually negative. So where does the average Malaysian stand? According to UBS data, the median wealth per adult in Malaysia is about 36,000 ringgit. That's the middle point. Half of all Malaysians have less than that. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the price of a Product Asia, the typical Malaysian entire net worth, one cheap car. Let's start with your 20s. You're 22 to 29. You just finished studying, your first job. The median salary at this age is about 2,000 to 2,900 ringgit a month according to the Department of Statistics. So how much should you be worth? Honestly, most people in the early 20s are in the red. You've got PTPTN debt. You just signed a car loan. Your EPF has barely started. You owe more than you own. And that's not failure. That's just how it works when you're starting out. The EPF's new target for 2026 says you should have about 11,000 ringgit in your EPF by age 25. By age 30, about 26,000 ringgit. These are the basic targets, the bare minimum. And even these are being phased in over time. By 2030, the targets go even higher. But here's the real picture. The median EPF savings for someone aged 25 to 29 is only about 9,600 ringgit. So the typical Malaysian in their late 20s doesn't even have 10,000 ringgit in their EPF. And over 90% of EPF members under 30 are not on track to have enough for retirement. 9 out of 10. And for your total net worth in your 20s, not just EPF, everything else, a good target is about 1 year of your salary. If you earn about 2,900 ringgit a month, that's about 35,000 ringgit. That's your EPF, savings, whatever investment you have, minus your debts. Hit that by 29 and you're ahead of most people your age. Can most people hit this? It's hard. After PTPTN, car loan, rent, and the cost of just living, saving anything at all in your 20s is a win. But every ringgit you put away at 23 works way harder than the one you save at 33. That's just how time works. Your 30s, this is where things either start coming together or start falling apart. Your salary is higher now. The median for this age group is about 3,200 to 3,600 ringgit a month. Your EPF has been building for almost 10 years, but your costs have also jumped too. EPF basic target for 2026 says you should have about 26,000 ringgit in your EPF by age 30. By age 35, about 47,000 ringgit. For total net worth, a good benchmark is 3 times your yearly salary. So if you earn 3,500 ringgit a month, that's 42,000 ringgit a year. Your net worth target somewhere in your 30s is about 126,000 ringgit. Everything combined, EPF, savings, investments, minus all your debts. But here's where reality kicks in. The actual median EPF savings for someone aged 35 to 39 is only about 25,000 ringgit. 25,000, that's it. Half the people in their late 30s have less than that in their EPF. Target says 47,000 ringgit. The reality is half that. And this is where most people get tricked. They buy a house, suddenly they think their net worth jumped by 500,000, but it didn't. If your house costs 500,000 ringgit and your mortgage is 450,000 ringgit, your actual equity is only about 50,000 ringgit. The house makes you rich, the mortgage makes you poor. If you have 100,000 ringgit or more in total net worth in your 30s, you're doing better than most. If you have 150,000 or more, you're ahead of the pack. But be honest about what counts, your house equity, not the house price. Your actual savings, not the number you feel like you should have. Your 40s, halfway to retirement. Your salary is at or near its peak. The median for ages 40 to 49 is about 3,900 to 4,200 ringgit a month. That's as high as it gets for most people. But this is also when the big cost piles up. Kids in school, maybe 2 cars, mortgage with 15 to 20 years left. EPF's 2026 target says you need 74,000 ringgit in your EPF by age 40. By age 45, about 108,000 ringgit. For total net worth, you should be aiming for 5 times your yearly salary. On a salary of 4,000 ringgit a month, that's 48,000 ringgit a year. 5 times that is 240,000 ringgit. That should be your target. But look at the actual numbers. The daily EPF savings for someone aged 45 to 49 is only about 41,000 ringgit. The target is 108,000 ringgit. The reality is less than half. To make matters worse, most of whatever net worth people have at this age is locked up. It's in their house, it's in their EPF, money they can see on paper but can't actually use day to day. Liquid cash and investments outside EPF, for many people in their 40s, is under 50,000 ringgit. Here's the gap that really shows at this age. If you started investing 500 ringgit a month at 25, your investment alone could be worth 200,000 ringgit to 300,000 ringgit by now. If you started at 35, maybe 80,000 to 120,000 ringgit. If you never started, zero. Same age, same salary, completely different position. In your 50s, retirement is 10 years away, maybe less. This is when the truth catches up. Whatever you've built or haven't built, by now it's mostly what you have. EPF's 2026 target says you should have 150,000 ringgit in your EPF by age 50, and by age 60, 270,000 ringgit. That's the current transitional target. By 2030, the number rises to 390,000 ringgit. But the actual amount that actually lets you live a reasonable life in retirement is about 650,000 ringgit. The higher tier is 1.3 million ringgit. Now here's the number that should shake you. The actual median EPF savings for someone aged 50 to 54 is about 39,000 ringgit. 39,000. The target is 150,000 ringgit. The reality is barely a quarter of that. This is the money these people are supposed to retire on. As of end 2025, only about 41% of working EPF members are on track to meet even the basic savings target for their age. That means close to 4.4 million working Malaysians are behind, and the adequate target of 650,000 ringgit, even fewer will get there. That 650,000 ringgit comes from a simple calculation. A senior retiree in the Klang Valley needs about 2,690 ringgit a month to live a reasonable life. For 20 years. That's not luxury. That's just getting by. For total net worth, the benchmark in your 50s is about 7 times your annual salary. On 4,000 ringgit a month, that's 336,000 ringgit. But honestly, if you can get your total net worth to 500,000 ringgit or more by your mid-50s, including your house equity and EPF, you're in a stronger position than most Malaysians. So let me put a full picture together. Based on EPF and Bank Negara data, Malaysian household roughly falls into 4 groups. First, the struggle zone. Net worth under 25,000 ringgit. That means everything you own minus everything you owe adds up to less than the price of a Myvi. Almost 4 out of 10 Malaysian households are here. Next, the working class. 25,000 ringgit to 250,000 ringgit. You've got some savings, maybe some EPF building up. With a bit of equity in your house. The one really better at losing a job, a medical emergency, and it could all disappear. About 3.5 out of 10 Malaysian households are here. Then the middle class, 250,000 ringgit to 2.5 million ringgit. You've either got a mostly paid off house or a real investment on both. You can handle a crisis without falling apart. Only about 1 in 4 Malaysian households reach this level. And those are the first 2 groups, struggle and working class. That's 72% of all Malaysian households, nearly 3/4, with a total net worth under 250,000 ringgit, including their house and their EPF. And the top 1%, you need about 2.2 million ringgit. That's not billionaire money. That's just comfortable money that most people will never reach. Some of you may be checking your own numbers right now and they are smaller than you expected. That's okay. The point isn't to feel bad. The point is to see the truth. You can't fix what you don't measure. Whatever age you are, whatever number it is, that's your starting line, not your finish line. These targets aren't walls, they are directions. You don't need to hit them perfectly. You just need to be moving towards them. One more thing, these numbers are based on formal sector data. people with regular jobs and EPF contributions. If you are self-employed, freelancing or running a small business, you might not have EPF at all. That means your net worth is even more important to track because nobody is saving for you. You have to do it yourself. If this gave you a number to work towards, share it with someone who needs a wake-up call. That's your Ringgit explained. See you in the next one.